ranching and endangered species working together. It's hard. I think the #1 ingredient is you get the people who care about ranching and the people who care about endangered species, you get them together. Ultimately, people are making all the decisions involved in how our society moves forward. And if they don't talk to each other, and if they don't understand each other's values, there's very little opportunity to move forward.
But when somebody is told what to do, and somebody from outside of the region, outside of the community, is trying to convince somebody why they're not doing it right, that's an opportunity for almost guaranteed failure. And Sustainable Northwest doesn't do it that way.
Becky said, I may have this group that may have some resources, some ideas that can help us. And I said, fine. If you think that they can be helpful to this situation here, then I don't have any problem with bringing them down. Let's bring them down and talk to them. Needless to say, it wasn't long before we started seeing faces from this organization called Sustainable Northwest. And one of those faces was a fellow by the name of James Honey. He would quietly sit in a room and listen to Becky and myself talk about how we could pull together Yainix. He was willing to give it a try, and he took it back up north, and he said, hey, I've got this project down there, and it's really interesting, and I think there might be something there. I'm talking about Klamath County, and I know as soon as he said Klamath County, everybody up north would probably all say, oh my God, not that place, you know. That place, they're not ready to do nothing but fight.
I think the reason that Yanex Ranch was successful was because it was real. And I also think that especially rural agricultural communities kind of hold up a stiff arm of fear or something to the urban public, and they miss out on a really great partner when they do that. And at Yanex, we didn't do that.
Yanex Ranch was an experiment. By no means is that a perfect model for how to restore the Upper Klamath Basin. It's imperfect in many, many ways, but what it starts to do is it's an experiment that allowed us to prove a certain set of hypotheses right or wrong, and then hopefully when we get to the next ranch or the next place or the next system, we're a little bit smarter.
That's how the Yainix project started, was with a few people that were willing to look beyond all of the past, think about what could happen here. We found an organization in Sustainable Northwest that was willing to take that risk.
I'd say that the encounter and the ability to kind of find common vision and find commonality around a healthy place to live, a decent place for kids to grow up, some level of financial stability, those are things that transcend all boundaries.
If you think of the values that Sustainable Northwest brings to a community, it's really, they're the ultimate listeners, and they're active listeners, and they come back, and they care. I don't think there's any question that the Northwest needs a Sustainable Northwest, or it could be some other name, it could be some other organization, but with the mission that Sustainable Northwest has, I think it's critical.
We definitely need Sustainable Northwest to stay in this community and continue to bring tools, resources in that help us deal with these really complex issues.
Everybody I meet breaks a stereotype, and when we make those deeper connections, when you have time to get to know somebody, to get to know them in their place, to know what they care about, you end up finding that there's a lot more complexity there than the kind of simple description.
No, it's been a difficult period for the tribal people here, but you know, they still have kept an eye towards the future and kept an eye towards wanting to build a future here with their new neighbors here.
Whenever we are given time, enough time to sit with people and talk these things through, and talk through the hope, and put good information in people's hands, we build more and more of a movement of change.